Hey guys and girls, it is Kosef here, and I am joined with Colton and Tristan.
Hey,
Hey
what's
guys.
up?
So, this is our first podcast, and a lot of people have been asking to see how we build in the toolset. So, instead of me saying like, oh, I put this fence here, I put this building there, and all that stuff, we thought it would be good to do a podcast because we are gamers, and there is a lot of discussion about stuff in the gaming news, if you'd want to call it, and I thought it would be good if we discussed that. So, to begin with, it's something not really major, but it's something I noticed. So, Colin and Tristan, I'm sure you know those sort of like crappy beta games made in Unity, like Stomping Land, Daisy, and all that crap.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those yet.
So it's like a quick money scheme, if you could call it that.
Oh, yeah.
Some people say it's like, oh, the developers are really trying to make a game.
Well,
Nah.
the truth is that they are new to game stuff, and they see Steam as like a way to pay their way through their schooling and such, which is not good at all. They should not be. The game costs money, and have that pay for the game's the construction,
Yeah.
and that's what's happening, and that should not happen. But
Well, I've seen some
it
really
is.
dumb ones that you're just like, it's kind of the buyer's fault for buying the thing. Like,
Yeah.
there was this one where I am rich, and then the other game that says I am poor.
No.
And so there was a game with I am poor, and it was released for free, and just when you open it, it says I am poor. And then there's an I am rich version that costs $100. And guess what you see when you open that?
I am rich.
Yeah.
Really? That's so stupid. You bought it.
No.
Oh, I was gonna say. So the topic, it's I'd say 2 Christmases ago, I had some Steam money, and literally, I think Steam's just full of these games, and I bought one of them. It cost me, there's like the typical, you got the standard game, and you got the, like the DLC, you just get in-game currency and all that. So I didn't, actually, yes, I did. I bought the second one, because it was only a tiny bit, more expensive. So I bought that, and it was extremely fun, because I was playing with some friends, and it was freaking amazing. So recently, I'm on I've liked their Facebook page, and they haven't, the developers of the game, they haven't posted any information on the game, or like any sort of like acknowledgement of the game in months. It was in beta. I was doing the quotation marks because nearly every game like that is in beta. So obviously I was actually surprised in this because I thought it was still beta, but they decided it's not beta anymore and they released it as a full game. This game costs like £15, which is like $22. So it's quite expensive for a broken game. With that being said, it's with the acknowledgement from none of them. One day, it was about actually 3 days ago, they posted they were advertising another game on their Facebook. And this led to everybody thinking, oh great, the game's sort of like dying, which literally everybody foreseen it. The game was full of hackers. They were saying they were dealing with it, and obviously they're just advertising another game completely. And what actually started, caught my attention was in the comments, somebody said, why don't they release the game is an open source, so like people could pretty much just work on it for free instead of the developers. And people were like, well, they were debating. It was like, the developers aren't going to do that. They're just going to end up losing more money. But the game is fun in the long run, and why just let it die with, you can't even log into the game right now. It's that broken. So why leave it at that when you could sort of like just give it to people, maybe at a price? So that got my attention to this topic of, do you think players literally do know more about or how to run a game than so-called developers? Or this involves RuneScape, to be honest, as well, because they're doing that whole Rune Labs thing. Do you think players know more what's better for the game than the actual developers?
My take on it is it really depends on how long the people have been using the specific game and which people are working on it themselves. Like, I can't really think of any exact examples because there really aren't any right now.
Well, I know what you mean. It's like experienced players would know more about what the game should be than inexperienced players.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
I also think it's kind of like neither of them really know, but like kind of how RuneScape does power to the players. They'll put out a poll, and then you vote on the poll, and the developers will make it. That's that works, but if some content, the players should be able to kind of vote again, like annually, to see if people still like it.
Well, the power to the players, there is one amazing. I personally hate power to the players. One absolute perfect example is the Alpha City versus the Inventor skill. I voted for Alpha City because, come on, the city has been like not there for 10 years. It's just been open space, and obviously the Alpha City won. But what would happen if Inventor skill? Because Jagex said they have literally no plans for Inventor. So, say if the players voted for Inventor skill, Jagex are literally just gonna try pull out ways to make a skill out of their asses, to put it in somewhat sense.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
So that was, in my opinion, an extremely dangerous move, because the players could choose between a skill which Jagex don't know what to work on, or a city which it's a city. You sort of, the concept's already there. You got all the other cities. There hasn't been really a city release. Jeez, I can't remember the last city which was released. I don't think there was one. Yeah, I actually can't think of whenever a city was released. Maybe in like 2002 or something, like on those really early stages. But with a new city, you know what you're gonna do. Say like, we could just make it so let's say high level training area, which they did. You got a lot of imagination there, but with an entire skill, which RuneScape has a lot of skills, so Inventor, you're sort of scraping the barrel at the moment. And that would have been an extremely bad decision to have done that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room with the lore there as well, with the invention aspect of RuneScape.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or we could always put in sailing. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
I don't know, sailing, you got the charter
that's
ships
been
and all
since
that.
like 2005. Someone brought that up. And
That's why there's a
being brought up.
Yeah, but I think they scrapped it and they just they added the player-owned ports, so that's like a fail for it, I guess.
Although, with that being said, have any of you looked at the Rune Labs yet?
I've read a lot of things on Reddit, but not Rune Labs itself.
Uh, it's a worse version of power to the players. Yeah, the players decided what to Jagex work on, but Jagex chose to. They either, let's just use the Alpha City again, so they were either going to work on the Alpha City or the Inventor. Instead of a player saying, we want you to work on this, Jagex said, we're going to work on two things, which one do you want first? Rune Labs is just, it's, to be honest, it's just the player suggestions forums, but in a nice interface, so it's literally nothing new. Its concept is new though, so like players can vote on what to do, and the suggestions so far are honestly just terrible. The ninja team, if you guys don't know what that is, it's like they do stuff behind the scenes which makes good. So like for example, the familiars combat, they made the familiars seem like more smart, so they would auto attack the next monster which dies instead of like standing there forever.
Yeah, on RuneScape's Reddit page, there's a section where you can add like a ninja thing.
Yeah.
And I suppose the ninja team looks at that and sees what they can fix or for it.
Yeah, it's. I think the idea of a ninja team was good, i.e., like when it first came out, they were like, "Oh, we added this cool patch to this, and it was like really handy." But now it's like coming like Jagex are relying. I know they're sort of still Jagex team, but it's like they're relying on the ninja team to like make content, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of say like the most recent one was the boss pets. So originally they would like just add the ninja team into the patch notes, but now it's like on the entire BTS to itself, which is sort of like it's not a ninja team if you're broadcasting it out loud.
Yeah.
So I'd say enough about RuneScape. Um, sort of like back to the original thing. Do you think say if there's a gaming company and they're creating a game, do you think they should sort of like be fully open with the community, i.e., like constantly talking to them, taking their suggestions, even using a lot of the player suggestions, or do you think they should sort of like sort of like be behind the scenes where they aren't fully upfront on everything they're doing, but they are working on stuff?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I
Yeah.
think they should also play the content that they make,
Yeah.
so they see how it's working out with everyone else, and they're actually in the scene, sort of saying.
Yeah.
There should be constant communication with uh the uh the makers and the people who play the game. Like uh what's a company who talks to their players often? Besides Jagex. Um Probably PlanetSide 2. That sort of rings a bell there because people people can make things and they can send them to the devs and they will try and add that. So I think maybe that's something that we should look into, is having player made ideas and content and then add that in where we see fit or where they suggest, as long as a large number of people support that idea.
Yeah. Uh, to be honest, my opinion, let's Jagex for example. I honestly preferred Jagex when they weren't so open. So like it used to be fun. Like holy crap, they brought out this new quest. Obviously the BTS is fun because you only get a preview, but it started off with Power to Plays like Alpha City release or the Inventor. I believe a poll was it was a good few months before the gap between the pilot and the Alpha City. Maybe even a year. I'm not 100% sure. I would have rather have seen like and this BTS, the Alpha City will be accessible after doing this quest, and that'll be like ready next week. Instead of like having a poll where we're gonna make the Alpha City, but we're gonna make you wait for like a year, something like that. I believe it was like 2009 where Jagex were just more secretive, but they did a really good job on creating the game still. Like they made the odd post on the forums and all that. But personally, it's like this is honestly just my personal opinion. I don't like Jagex being so fully open.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from with that.
It's like
there's always like the players like the suspense of oh look, it's a new update.
Yeah.
Instead of knowing exactly what's going on at every second.
That actually reminds me. Recently, before that, the Golden Club, Gold Club membership package, whatever you want to call it. In 2012, I believe it was. Jagex would send you emails about content way before it would be released. To be honest, they did a really, really shitty job of that. And yeah, I got the emails. One of them was the God Wars update. They released it like literally one day before the BTS came out on the video. You were supposed to get an email every season, so like times like March, June, September, December, times like that. And so that concept was good, but recently there was a post on the high level forums. So the high level forums is for max players plus only. A JMod made a thread saying that you're not allowed to post information inside the high level forums outside forums, which seems like really stupid, but obviously that's never going to work. You got that. You could say it's in any game where nothing's secret. So say if there was a post on the high level forums, it would get posted to Reddit, it would be posted on the other forums, people would tell all their friends, YouTubers would make videos on it, and it would just spread like wildfire in a matter of seconds, to be honest. So a good example would be, say if a JMod posted in the high level forum saying, we're gonna release an entire new God Wars, that would be everywhere and everybody would know it. And what they were trying to do is say, with high level forums, because I'm in it, I couldn't tell you, Colton, or I couldn't tell you, Tristan, that there's a new God Wars coming out, for example. So it's just, I think, just my personal opinion again, I think Jagex should be more secret instead of like going on all Twitter releasing content through. I believe what was it? When the Alpha City came out, a JMod said something like, if I get 4,000 followers, I release a title in the game. I was like, really? You're sort of like mixing Twitter into RuneScape just to get content out? That seems really bad in my opinion.
Yeah. So there's a level of secrecy that needs to be there so the game looks more fun, instead of having like instead of explaining the entire schedule of 2015, we should maybe have like a hint, maybe like a week ahead.
Yeah.
And so even then, players won't totally understand it. But once it's out, they might love it or they might hate it. And yeah, so that's my views on that.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like when EOC came out, like literally nobody knew about it, not to my knowledge. And then, boob, it just came out on exclusive to YouTube and their website. I just think it should sort of still keep that whatchamacallit, that's, yeah, secretive.
That was really fun.
Yeah, it was, they showed that blurred, vision. I was really pumped for EOC when it came, when it was, like, announced. I was like, holy crap, this is gonna be amazing. I just wish the community didn't split up about it.
Yeah. It's actually a lot harder than it is for Legacy. So I don't understand why people are yelling at it. It's not WoW, people.
Right, so for the second topic, this is mostly just about the project. So a fan on YouTube, and this guy's been a fan literally from the start. I believe he was a fan when I was only like 50 subscribers. Either that, or he was a fan with like the surge of Chris Archie's audience when it got featured. So his question is, I think this, it was not really a question, but it's something me and Colton are going to talk about, because it's really a good question as well as a comment. Yeah, a comment. So he says, I think this project is very cool, but where do you see this project going? Is there a big enough audience to play this version/game of RuneScape? So first off, that is a really good question, and at the time it got me thinking, and I gave him like a little brief description of my response. But I think it's a really good sort of topic to discuss. So what do you think, Colton?
I think we should try and make our own game. Like, since we have all this stuff here, we can expand on it, but at a level that's larger than what Jagex has now. And we should at least have a few things that people know. But if they see this here, they'll play it for maybe a few days and then they'll stop. Because that'll be an exact copy of what we have now.
Yeah.
So if we expand on it, they'll find new things and that'll keep them playing it. And that's what I really want, is people to invest in it and love it. So that's my view on that.
I completely agree, obviously. Colin, we actually discussed this like a year or more ago. So obviously, we are replicating RuneScape, but if we keep everything the exact same, and say we do finally release it, players are just gonna play the same old quests they know. They're just gonna do the same old combat, leveling up, getting loot, literally anything. Well, the only thing which has changed is, the gameplay is going to be slightly different. So, like, the animations, the graphics are different, the UI is different, and sort of like the surrounding of the environment's different. Although that's good, it's like you have no goals. So, say if our project was 100% replica of RuneScape, literally nothing custom, and it was released to the multiplayer. Personally, what I would do is I would just do what I'd have done 1,000 times before. Just level up your character, go to one training spot, go to another training spot until I get high level. And since we are only playing, although we are only doing free-to-play areas at the moment, There's no end content. It's just gonna be the exact same RuneScape. You're just leveling up, and when you get to, like, say if I got full rune and a good amount of items, that's it. The game's pretty much done for me, and I'm gonna no doubt quit.
Yeah.
So me and Colton had this discussion where, personally, it was getting to the point where it was boring, just creating everything the same. There's sort of like no imagination into it. I know that sounds cheesy, but it was just getting sort of boring, to be honest. And so, we built a gigantic Crandor city and customized areas on RuneScape. And, this is gonna open a freaking crapload of doors for the players. But I just want to get one thing off my chest. The project has always been a fun project for me. I'm sure it's been a fun project for you, Colton.
Hell yes.
And it's always going to be like that. Honestly, sometimes it feels like the impression I get from people when they ask some questions. I know somebody asked me saying, instead of donating, can I just buy the game? And I'm like, well, yeah, but you sounded like you want to sort of give us money because you are buying the game instead of donating. Then that leads to, just because you bought Nelvin's Nights 2, we don't get no money, we didn't create the game, we're just using the game just like you will be.
Yep.
So that was a funny conversation I had with somebody. So I'm only doing it for fun. Building it is extremely fun. With fans, like viewers on YouTube, them enjoying it too is a large enjoyment boost for me too. So, going back on topic with trying to not make it sort of like not the same as RuneScape, to sort of keep it different. We're keeping everything lore friendly, so you're not going to see, oh, I've gone to Crandor City, I've got this demonic mace of 1,000 souls. It's gonna stun people in one hit them. Honestly, I don't want stuff like that, and that will never ever happen. You're probably gonna go to Crandor and see like a mithril scimitar, adamant scimitar, and adamant mace. Just everything ordinary still, because
Yeah.
one reason why people loved RuneScape is it's simple. I know that sounds really stupid, like, oh, it's a simple game, it's for kids. Simple games are really, really fun. You just got the basic bronze to rune, like magical powers which increases or decreases stuff. It's not really complicated at all. Obviously, it's just really simple. So like an adamant weapon is always better than a mithril weapon. Obviously, an adamant dagger isn't better than a mithril two-hander, but you get the basics. So, I'm going to ask you this before I answer it, Colton. Where do you see the end game of a project being?
I really don't see an end for it, because there's always something we could add or expand onto it. But I see this as something that we could constantly, like, add to even when we're on our second game thing.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Literally like you, there's every time one door closes, another opens. It's taken us so long to even just sort of get somewhere on the free-to-play lands. Obviously, after free-to-play, we got pay-to-play. We got stuff like the God Wars Dungeon. We got say even after we do finally manage to finish the pay-to-play areas, we got the Crandor City. Me and Colin have a crapload of stuff planned for that. It's a shame Tristan isn't here. One thing Tristan was extremely excited about was a sailing skill. Because at one point I did add sailing into the game, But I was really new to the project still, so I only managed just to get on a boat and start sailing. But I was really new. I didn't even know how to get off a boat. I didn't know how to travel places like sailing wise. So I just removed it for the time being. But yeah, like I said, when one door closes, another opens. We're gonna add a lot of lore-friendly custom stuff, and hopefully it's gonna be it's gonna be fun. Sort of like going back to the discussion we were on about, say, like not replicating RuneScape. So instead of a player just going to like cow pens, finally leveling up to say like he's got full adamant, he's gonna see a boat at Port Sarim, and he's gonna travel to this entire new island, which is Crandor City, and there's gonna be like over 100 hours of gameplay into that. And
Probably more than that, yeah.
definitely more than that. And he's just going to be thinking to himself, holy crap, is this like an entire new game? Because the way Neverwinter Nights 2 works, you can make as many modules as your hard drive can handle. The only thing which limits is the size of the module, which is obviously easily manageable, but we currently have 3 modules. We can't say, oh, we have 3 modules, that's the end of the end of how much we can do. Like, I could create 100 more modules and just link them all up, so we can constantly add 100 hours of gameplay into the project. But of course, it's going to take probably 3 times longer to create that content. It's obviously new to us as well. I still remember when we were working on quests on Crandor, Colton. You did the merchant's quest, and Colton only put about it was only like just a taster of what the quest is going to be. Colton only did about he had like the thing, but the amount of time it was playable, if that makes sense. So it was still sort of like it was not fully complete, but like the beginning of it was playable. So I was playing the beginning of it, and I was like, holy shit, what happens next? This is extremely fun. And I've sort of like been creating on a toolset for over 5 years, and something I've been working on for a long amount of time is fun for me. So it's going to be new to us as much as it's going to be new to you. And one day when the project's sort of like going to be complete, it's going to be really fun to just play it with it myself, or just with friends like Colton or Tristan.
Yeah, we can add a lot of stuff, but there's things that need to be done first, and stuff like mini games and certain skills we just can't do because that's not how the engine works. And we have to like work our way around it by
Yeah.
somewhat invasive conversations, strange methods, but we always somehow get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a lot of troubleshooting, really. But I have lots of plans for the future of Molior, so this should be fun.
Yeah. And with that being said, I'd say it's a great investment for anybody who's a fan of the work. Like the game's like only like £12, which is like $16. So once you buy that, anything we add to the project, you're going to be getting it for free. So like you could buy you could buy Neverwinter Nights 2 now, play Beta 2. All you could do is travel around free-to-play areas, cutting down trees, mining ore. But then once you've bought Neverwinter Nights 2, you get to play anything we add to it for free. So like beta 3, beta 4, say that when free to play is fully complete, when the wilderness is fully complete, when pay to play is fully complete, when Crandall's fully complete, and all that storylines, you're going to be able to go around it for free. Well, not for free, but for that like one-time purchase.
Yeah, it's $20. It's the best $20 I've ever spent ever. Really.
Tristan said that.
It's great because it's just so expansive for what Neverwinter Nights 2 is capable of. Never intended for stuff like this to happen. So yeah, it's quite large, and
Yeah.
sometimes it won't run.
So yeah, I'd say that is the end of the podcast. This is our first one, so I know you guys want to see some building, so apologies if I've been doing some random stuff while talking. I am male, so it's hard for me to do two things at once. I know that's a poor excuse. But at the moment, all I'm doing is just working on beta 3 and adding waypoints. It's really boring, but it has to be done. And we are looking to do more podcasts in the future if you guys are interested in them. Have you got anything else to add, Colton?
Sorry about the phone call. Not really, no. Not yet, at least.
With that being said, I'd say one of the modules is fully done on beta 3. So one down and two more to go.
One last thing. I am sort of running an experimental server, and currently I can host 256 people on it, but you need to have a Hamachi account, and probably within the next month or two I'll make it live so people can play, but until then I have to sort some stuff out with my people who service my internet. So yeah, that should be fun.
Yep.
Look forward to it, guys. It's coming.
With what Colton said, me, Colton, and Tristan are looking to do a beta 3 gameplay as well. It's going to be like a series, so you'll be sort of like finally getting to see some gameplay instead of like toolset and informational videos. So that should be really fun. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.
See ya.